They say life is about finding comfort. They say success is a destination, a stable job, a soft bed, a calm, predictable routine, the absence of struggle, the elimination of risk, the steady, warm hum of safety. And yet, look around. Look at the faces in the coffee shop, in the subway, in the mirror. Most people have never been more comfortable, and most people have never been more anxious, more restless, more afraid of losing what they have. We built walls of comfort to keep the world out. Now we find we are trapped inside. Comfort was supposed to bring peace. Instead, it brought fear, a deep, gnawing fear. Fear of change, fear of discomfort, fear of the unknown, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of life itself. We have become like overprotected children, fragile and terrified of a scraped knee. We have engineered a life free of friction, and in doing so, we have lost our ability to stand firm. There's a reason Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote his private notes not on a comfortable throne, but in a cold tent on a war-torn frontier. He wrote, "The obstacle is the way." He didn't write, "The avoidance of the obstacle is the way." He didn't write, "The comfort is the way." He knew. He knew the secret we have forgotten. What feels uncomfortable today is what makes you unbreakable tomorrow. What challenges you changes you. What tests you strengthens you. Comfort, when left unchecked, becomes a silent poison. It is the golden cage. The bars feel smooth. The food is plentiful. But it is, and always will be, a cage. Comfort feels warm while it slowly kills your hunger to live. It dulls your senses. It softens your will. It calcifies your soul. It whispers later, until later becomes never. You don't need to hit rock bottom to destroy yourself. You don't need a cataclysmic event. You don't need a dramatic failure. All you need is to get comfortable. Comfort is the most dangerous addiction of the modern age. It is subtle, it is socially acceptable, and it is deadly to your potential. Comfort whispers. It has a soft, reasonable voice. It sounds like wisdom. It sounds like self-care. It whispers, "You're fine. You've done enough." It says, "You deserve a break. Just one more episode. Just 5 more minutes." It tells you, why risk it? It's not that bad. Better the devil you know. And so you listen. Why wouldn't you? The voice is so reassuring, so you stop trying. You stop pushing. You stop learning. You stop asking hard questions. You stop risking. You stop. You tell yourself you're resting. You tell yourself you're practicing work-life balance. You tell yourself you're being kind to yourself. But deep down, you know the truth. You're not resting. You're hiding. Hiding from the effort it takes to be great. Hiding from the possibility of failure. Hiding from the sting of rejection. Hiding from the pain of honest self-reflection. Hiding from the work. The mind begins to rot, not from struggle, but from ease. A mind unchallenged doesn't just rest, it rusts. A spirit untested doesn't find peace. It finds atrophy. Muscles weaken without resistance. This is a law of biology, and the same happens to the soul. A man who avoids discomfort at all costs loses his edge. He loses his sharpness. His resolve turns to mush. He begins to shrink into safety and calls it peace. He begins to fear the unknown and calls it wisdom. He begins to settle and calls it gratitude. But this is the great lie. Gratitude is not stagnation. Peace is not numbness. Rest is not avoidance. Gratitude is the active appreciation of what you have while you actively pursue what you are capable of. Settling is the passive surrender to your current circumstances, out of fear. Do not confuse the two. Comfort in excess is simply decay with a smile. It is slow suicide, disguised as a vacation. It is the enemy of your future self. Your world shrinks. The more comfort you demand, the smaller your life becomes. The invitations you decline, the projects you pass on, the people you avoid, the safe job you cling to, the safe opinions you never challenge. Your safe space becomes a prison cell, and you are both the prisoner and the guard. Modern life has made comfort a god. We worship at its altar. We sacrifice our potential to it. Everything is designed to remove friction, to eliminate the weight, to erase the struggle. You can order food without moving. You can consume endless entertainment without thinking. You can talk to hundreds of people without the discomfort of real, face-to-face connection. You can build an entire identity out of pixels and likes, never risking the vulnerability of being truly seen. We have built a world that answers our every whim. Instant gratification is no longer a luxury. It's an expectation. We call this progress. We call this quality of life. But the easier life gets, the weaker our spirit becomes. The less friction we face, the more fragile we are. We have more convenience than any generation in human history, and less strength to endure inconvenience. We have more connected lives and have never felt more alone. We have more knowledge at our fingertips and less wisdom in our hearts. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, knew this 2,000 years ago. He practiced voluntary poverty. He would wear his worst clothes, eat the simplest food, and sleep on the hard floor. Why? To break the addiction, to remind himself that his spirit was not tied to his possessions. He said, "Soft living makes soft men." He wasn't wrong. We have become soft. We are terrified of being bored. We are terrified of being silent. We are terrified of being alone with our own thoughts. So we scroll. We swipe. We numb. We distract. We used to climb mountains for meaning. Now we scroll for distraction. We used to face storms to feel alive. Now we fear a bad Wi-Fi signal. We used to build character by overcoming adversity. Now we build a personal brand by avoiding controversy. This is not progress. It's sedation. It is a mass tranquilizing of the human spirit. We are being lulled to sleep by the very things we created to serve us. And the danger of sedation is that it feels good. It's warm. It's safe. It's easy. That's why so few escape it. Who would willingly leave paradise? Only the one who realizes it's not paradise at all. It's a beautifully decorated cage. But discomfort, real discomfort, is not your enemy. We have been taught to fear it, to medicate it, to run from it, to silence it. But discomfort is your greatest ally. It is a signal. It is a teacher. It is a compass. Discomfort is the voice of your future self telling you where to go. Discomfort is the sound of your old skin breaking so the new one can emerge. The pain you avoid is often the gate to your next evolution. The difficult conversation you're avoiding is the one that will heal the relationship or set you free. The grueling workout you're dreading is the one that builds the body and the mind. The public speaking you fear is what unlocks your voice and your influence. The creative project you're scared to start is the one that holds your purpose. The struggle you resist is the forge where strength is made. Character is not built in the easy times. Character is forged in the fire. It is hammered into shape on the anvil of adversity. A sword is not made by being polished. It is made by being plunged into fire, beaten with a hammer, and quenched in cold water. It is the stress that makes it strong. It is the resistance that gives it an edge. You are no different. You cannot build resilience without resistance. You cannot build depth without silence and solitude. You cannot build courage without facing fear. Everything you admire in others, discipline, patience, wisdom, integrity, unshakable, calm, courage, was born in discomfort. It was paid for with struggle. It was earned through repetition. It was built, brick by painful brick, in the moments when it would have been easier to quit. The Stoics didn't chase pain for pain's sake. They were not masochists. They embraced it because it was the only path to self-mastery. It was the only way to become free. Epictetus, a former slave, understood this better than anyone. He said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." By embracing discomfort, you train your judgment. You teach yourself, this is hard, but it will not break me. You teach yourself, this is painful in this moment, but I am in control of my response. They understood the ultimate trap. If comfort is all you seek, you will end up serving it. You will become its slave. You'll protect your comfort at any cost. You will lie to protect it. You will shrink to protect it. You will avoid truth to protect it. You will betray your friends, your values, and your own potential, all to stay comfortable. Discomfort, on the other hand, is the great equalizer. It humbles the ego. It burns away the non-essential. It strengthens the spirit. It reminds you that life is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be meaningful. So ask yourself, and be honest. No one is listening but you. When was the last time you did something that truly scared you a little? When was the last time you were a beginner at something and felt clumsy and foolish? When was the last time you sought out criticism, not compliments? When was the last time you willingly chose the harder path? When was the last time you grew because something hurt? If you can't remember, if it's been months or years, you are in the trap. You are being sedated. Your life is on pause, and you are the one holding the remote. The moment you start chasing only what feels good, the moment you prioritize ease above all else, you begin to lose what makes you you. You stop choosing growth and start choosing ease. And ease never made anyone great. Ease never built anything that lasts. Ease never inspired anyone. Ease never earned self-respect, true peace, the deep, unshakable calm you are really looking for. It doesn't come from avoiding chaos. It doesn't come from a perfect, predictable, sterile life. It comes from knowing you can face the chaos. It comes from having been tested. It comes from having faced the storm and knowing, deep in your bones, that you can survive it. A mind that has known struggle becomes calm, not because the world got easier, but because it got stronger. That's the paradox of Stoicism. You find true comfort not in escaping life, but in embracing all of it. The pain, the uncertainty, the noise, the silence, the wins and the losses, the joy and the grief. Comfort becomes healthy only when it's earned. Rest becomes peaceful only when it follows effort. Silence becomes wisdom only when it's chosen, not forced upon you by fear. Safety becomes a home, not a prison, only when you know you can leave it at any time. There is a famous quote that says, "A ship is safe in the harbor, but that's not what ships are built for." You can spend your whole life in the harbor. You can polish the deck. You can avoid the storms. You can stay safe, and your ship will be pristine, but it will never be what it was meant to be. It will never know the majesty of the open ocean. It will never see foreign shores. It will never feel the wind in its sails. It will die in the harbor, a perfect, useless, untested thing. Neither are you. You were not built for the harbor. You weren't born to live only for safety. You weren't born to numb yourself with distraction. You weren't born to shrink. You weren't born to be a spectator in your own life. You were born to sail, to face the waves, to fail, to learn, to rebuild, to get stronger, to keep going. Comfort may protect you, but it will never ever fulfill you. It will never give you a life you are proud of. It will never make you free, because life's beauty, life's meaning, life's power, it all lives just beyond comfort's edge. And every time you step outside of it, every time you choose the hard path, every time you face the fear, you reclaim a piece of your soul. So the next time you feel that pull to stay still, to stay safe, to stay small, to hit the snooze button on your own life, remember, that feeling of discomfort, that tension, that fear, that's not danger. That's growth knocking on your door. That is your future self begging you to show up. That is life, asking you if you are ready to truly live. Answer it.